here in Liberty Township. I'm Greg Shoemaker with tristatefootball.com, and joining me now on stage are the Hamilton Big Blue. Golly, it's exciting changes for the Big Blue this season. The new head coach, Chad Murphy, comes over from Northwest. Actually, a new athletic director out there as well. Big changes for the Big Blue. They went 2-8 last fall, and 1-6 in the GMC, and things could look a lot better. And Coach, let's start with you and how things going so far in your transition to the new school.
Well, definitely excited about the opportunity. Numbers are good. Kids are working hard. I thought they've done a great job during the transition of staying together and working their tails off. Had a good staff in place there, and was able to bring a few guys, and couldn't ask for much more right now.
What did you think of the facilities there when you got there? I mean, because they were a lot different than what you had over there in Northwest.
Yeah, I mean, last year at Northwest we kind of prided ourselves on having the worst of practice field, and things like that. Just the facilities at Hamilton's unbelievable. I mean, there's no reason not to be successful there, I believe.
So you've had a little bit of time to look at your team so far. Last year, we were talking before the show, they struggled to score on offense. I mean, there were 14 total touchdowns. What can you use to make these guys a little bit better on that side of the ball this year?
Well, I think first and foremost is just taking care of the football. Turnovers, creating them on defense, but obviously on offense, need to take care of the football. We're going to run a little bit different style of offense than we ran there in the last couple of years with the spread. Definitely have some athletes, and we also want to run the football. So I think that would definitely help.
And defensively, I mean, there were times last year when this team looks good, and year in and year out, Hamilton always has one or two solid upsets. And the players are always there. I mean, they have the depth to play with everybody in the GMC, but defensively, I know last year you guys really got after it at Northwest. What are you hoping to put on that side of the ball? And especially, you guys last year really flew to the ball. I mean, how's this defense looking for you so far?
Well, it's looking good. I mean, we're going to run the same style of defense, the 3-5, and I think defense is a pride thing, and that's what we're trying to instill in these kids right now. Is just there's a lot to be proud of in the city of Hamilton, and playing great defense is going to be the top priority for us.
Now, will your philosophy be to put your best athletes on that side of the football?
Well, that's kind of another change we've had a little bit. We have a guy down here, Tyler Denton, that led the GMC in receptions and touchdowns last year, and never played it down to defense, but he's getting a ton of reps on the defensive side of the ball. We're going to have kids playing both ways. We're priding ourselves in being in good shape and shape enough to play both sides of the ball. And a lot of these guys sitting at this table is going to play a little bit here and there on both sides.
So before I get to having you introduce all the players, I want to ask you one last question. You're from Franklin. Rodney Roberts from Franklin, head coach still there at the alma mater. Sean Lamb at Lebanon. What is it about that school? Why are you guys producing so many coaches here locally?
Well, I think it started probably with my high school head coach, John Argood, just such an influence to my career and what I'm doing now. And, he was able to coach Rodney and able to coach Sean Lamb. And I think, when you got a head coach that's able to motivate people, it kind of inspires them to, maybe pursue it as a future, as a career.
Well, it's pretty impressive. All of you have been very successful at the head coaching level, and it's pretty cool to see. Go ahead and introduce all your players, and then we'll start off giving them some questions. We'll take it on down and who you got with us.
We got one at a time here.
Yeah, one at a time.
Austin Choate plays linebacker, going to play a little bit of offensive line for us. He's a top returning tackler from last season. Tyler Denton, like I said already, returning GMC leader in receptions and yards. Quentin Bailey, running back, wide receiver, defensive back as well. Preston McIntosh, wide receiver. Alex Anderson, linebacker, moving to linebacker this year. He's a big, strong boy. Played D-line last year. He's dropped about 20 pounds, but he's pretty close to a 400-pound bencher. Big, strong boy that can run a little bit. Devin Pankey, offensive line. Looking for big things out of this guy. And Caleb Reed behind us. He's just a tough-nosed guy that can play either side of the ball.
Sounds good. Let's talk down here to Preston McIntosh. And Preston, for you, a whole new era stepping in with a new coach. And talk a little bit about you as a wide receiver and Tyler, what you guys are doing this offseason to make yourselves better on that side of the football as far as receivers.
Well, it's more like we come out and me and Tyler, we talk, and like, the new style of offense that we have. We pass the ball a lot, so we just, we came together and was like, okay, yeah, like we're just gonna go after it this year.
And how about the quarterbacking situation? Who should we look for under center this year?
Zach King, a little bit of both. Sean.
And are you working with those guys right now? And
Yes, sir.
And how's your timing and so forth with them then?
We're just going good. It's just natural now.
Sounds good. Let's get it over to Quentin Bailey. And Quentin is one of the top returning rushers in the GMC. He's already got over 800 yards for his career. And Quentin, handling the football 10, 15, 20, 25 times a game, how are you building yourself up this offseason to prepare for that kind of toil each week?
I build myself up by just being in the weight room so I can make sure I handle that ball good and carry it good.
What have been the biggest changes in the weight room since Coach Murphy's gotten here?
It's a lot. Like, it changes. Like, usually, like when we had Coach Jacoby, we like work out like a full body workout. Like we got Coach Murphy now. We just do like upper body one day, then the next day legs, and then we do like a little 110s after that.
Sounds good. Bring it over here to Tyler and Tyler Denton. First team All GMC wide receiver as a junior. Pretty impressive year last season. Tyler, the offense we were talking earlier only scored 14 touchdowns. Why do you think this offense is going to be more productive in 2013?
It's faster paced. We get it, we go. The defense really doesn't see it coming, and then we just got an opportunity to score after play after play after play. So.
And as far as keeping up endurance and keeping up that sort of pace all year, what are you guys doing differently as far as conditioning goes?
We do a bunch of 110s. We go one every week. It's terrible.
All right, back here to Austin Shope, the team's leading returning tackler. He's got 80 plus for his career, and Austin, the leader of the defense this year. For you, what's that role like?
It's pretty much of an honor. It's different though. We don't huddle. It's actually a lot different. We huddle like if the offense huddle, we huddle. So like it's gonna be weird. It's not gonna be like so much as a leader role because we're all gonna be one. You gotta look over the sideline. It's not me telling them what to do. It's everybody doing their own thing. So I wouldn't say much of a leader as much as everybody doing their own part.
When you talk about that, how different is that not being in a defensive huddle? I mean, to me it seems a little strange. And it seems like there might be some communication errors. How do you get by that?
Yeah, well, like you guys know, it gets loud sometimes, so we stick with the hand signals. And I mean, I don't like since we run the 3-3 stack or whatever. Like it's not much for me, but the DBs they have to memorize a lot. They're patting helmet and whatever. That's probably the hard part for the DBs to communicate. But the linebackers, it's not as much of line up on the strength and line up on the weak side. That's really it for the stack. So
that sounds good. Let's grab this microphone. We'll move this all the way down to. We'll give this one down here to Devin. Alex. We're going to go with Alex first. Alex is ready to go. Alex Anderson, moving you from defensive line this year to linebacker. What are the changes for you? What are the differences for you?
It's like a lot more fast paced, and like I like have to read stuff now instead of just trying to block for like chauffing them. And like I just gotta like react more, like quicker.
And Coach also said you dropped 20 pounds. What sort of program are you on, and how's that helped you so far?
Like I pretty much just run like a lot, lift, and just not eat as much like bad food and everything. Just have a good healthy diet.
It's working out well for you?
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about this team. Why do you like what you guys are bringing to the table in 2013?
I like that we work hard every day. We ran 110s every week. This past week we ran 25. That was hard.
Sounds good. Let's go back here in the corner to Caleb Reed. And Caleb, one of the top returning defensive backs for the Big Blue. And Caleb, last year he had a couple of, a fumble recovery and 30 total tackles. You, a leader in the secondary, and Shope was talking about it earlier. How wild is that not having that huddle, and how's your role as a defensive back on that defense?
Without the huddle, it obviously will create more communication errors than rather with the huddle. But every day you have to work. I mean, not just actually do real drills where you're running. Sometimes you just have to do formation rec to be able to get down all the communication stuff and know what you see and what you got to do when you see that stuff. So it just takes practice.
looking at the program from the time you were a freshman to now, and having a leadership role, but
The number one thing, be coachable. Don't talk back to the coaches. Listen to what they have to say either way, if you agree with it or not.
sounds good. Let's go over here to big offensive lineman Devin Pankey. And Devin, I saw you at the Rivals camp earlier in the year, and coaches were starting to give you a big look. How's your recruiting process going? What are the college coaches told you this offseason that you need to work on?
Not too much. It's just more run blocking. Like last year with Jacoby, we threw a lot of passes. That's what Tyler was doing this season. You're just telling me, get good film this year, and it'll all come.
You know, one of the things that Devin and I have in common is your brother is actually a sophomore at West Virginia, and my daughter is actually a sophomore at West Virginia as well, and they've become good friends, and it's pretty cool to see them. But when you talk to your brother and see what he's gone through playing football and being hurt, what have you learned from him, and what have you seen at that college level that's so amazingly different?
Basically, overcoming adversity from him, being coachable, and his work ethic from high school to college has changed tenfold.
And looking at this offense in 2013, you know, we talked about the defense quite a bit, but what do you like about what the offense brings to the table? Because you didn't score a whole lot last year. What can you do to make your guys better?
I like the fast-paced offense. I got to keep the O-line kind of in check. Got to be the leader of the O-line, make sure everything is running smooth, and just keep it going.
When you lose guys like your brother over the last year, Robbie Parker as well, and the other kid, Finn, that's going to UC, Finn Flick, those are big shoes to fill. Who else on the offensive line is going to help you fill those this year?
We got a tackle who's coming back, Hunter. He played a couple games last year, so he has a little bit of varsity experience. Everybody's pretty much ready to step in and play. They're all varsity ready. We play as a good unit on the O-line instead of more individuals as they did in the past. So I'm not really too worried about stepping in and throwing in shoes.
All right, everybody. I think some people might want to be worried about the Hamilton Big Blue. Got a lot of returning ball players. Chad Murphy in his first year. Going to bring excitement. Let's give the Big Blue of Hamilton a big hand, and we'll bring up Lakota East End.